Hello, my name is Marcus Snell, and today I am talking to you about a question you might receive on the FE exam. Now, while taking the exam, you might happen upon a question that asks, what is ethics best defined as? Well, it's actually best defined as one of four ways. First, it could be defined as a philosophical concept dealing with moral conduct. Now, there are actually three main theories that deal with the concept of moral conduct. First is consequentialist theory, as talked about by John Stuart Mill. And in it, it essentially states that the ends justify the means. Next is deontological theory, which Immanuel Kant spent a lot of time talking about. And that is that moral conduct is based upon your actions and then the intent behind your actions. Lastly is virtue theory, which Aristotle discussed, and that states that moral behavior depends upon what the decision says about your character. Now you might ask, well, how do these three theories kind of relate together? We'll take lying, for example. Very simple concept. A consequentialist would say that lying is only good if there is a greater good that comes from the lie. Deontologicalist would say that lying is never good. It's immoral in all stances. Versus someone who follows virtue theory would say, well, why did you lie? And let's explore that for a while. It's very amorphous, so there's a lot of controversy with virtue theory, but it also leads to a lot of interesting things. So you have these three main philosophies that breed into this concept of moral conduct, and that brings us to our second point of what ethics could be best defined as a set of standards establishing right and wrong. These are kind of socially determined good and bad scales. I mean, people just through actions in history have decided that these things are good and these things aren't, which then can be actually codified, which brings us to our third point, that ethics can be best defined as the rules that describe your duty to society and your fellow professionals, which are actually conveniently, for civil engineers, codified in the ASCE Code of Ethics. So we've gone from a philosophical concept to a socially accepted norm down to a codified form of ethics. Then lastly, ethics can be best defined as guidelines that help you make decisions. This is essentially your moral compass. So through an understanding of philosophy and social norms and codified rules, you can then make decisions that would be considered moral and ultimately ethical. So ethics isn't any one of these things. They are all ethics, and they all contain the kernel that is ethics, essentially understanding good from bad. And there are many different interpretations of ethics, and that's where a lot of the nitty-gritty of it comes in, but all of it can be pared down to these four simple concepts, which again are the philosophical concept of dealing with moral conduct, a set of standards establishing right and wrong, rules that describe your duty to society and your fellow engineers, and lastly, guidelines that help you make decisions. So hopefully this video has been helpful and describing what ethics is, and hopefully it'll help you get a little bit better score on your FE exam. I again thank you for your time, and have an absolutely wonderful day.